What's going on, guys? Victor here. We're about 80 miles out in the Gulf of America right now with Captain Tanner Rice of Real Deal Fishing Charters.
What's going on, guys?
So you guys have seen Brick and I fish with Tanner a lot in the past. Big African pompano, cobia, red snapper, grouper, you name it all. Tanner has one of the best fisheries I've ever witnessed out here. Let me give you guys a little recap of what happened today. So we started super early. Gorgeous boat ride on his Freeman. I love our blue water, but I will say this is a very nice and comfortable boat. He's even got Starlink on here, so we're on Instagram the whole time. Loaded up on some baits. Tanner threw the cast net a couple times so we could get some pilchards and stuff. Then we stopped at another bait spot, tried to get on some bigger baits. He really likes this wreck that we're on because he says there's an opportunity to catch so many different things. Gag grouper, red grouper, scamps, black grouper, pretty much all the good eating fish. Mutton snapper, all sorts of stuff out here. So Tanner, take it away. What are we gonna be doing?
So we're anchored up. We got some fish down below us. We're in 170 feet of water. We're gonna drop down some live baits, some bigger baits for the bigger grouper, and we're gonna just see what happens down there. We're trying to get some nice scamps since they're open right now. Some red grouper, they're open as well, and then hopefully get a black. That's what we really want. We'll also catch red snapper. I won't be surprised to catch a couple of cobia, and then I don't know, some big mangrove stuff. But it has a lot of different fish on this bottom. It's really unique, especially when you get on the deeper water. There's a lot of different fish that can sit on these spots.
Let's do it. So we actually have a special guest on the boat. Mitz is Tanner's mate, or second captain, I guess you could say. But what's really cool is he spent 30 years of his life as an FWC officer, so he's retired, and Brick was just actually asking him what his biggest bust ever was. He said he's caught someone with 10,000 pounds of illegal mullet on the boat.
That was awesome. Awesome career.
I'm sure he's got a lot of stories. Okay, so Tanner just set us up. We're on a, he doesn't know if it's a wreck or a rock pile, but we're gonna drop this big grunt first on the 50. Want to drop the big baits first because usually blacks are pretty territorial and they are the first thing to eat. So when you start fishing, you want to drop down that biggest bait first to try to get those blacks to react.
I didn't say that.
That is the bite right there. Come on. Bait's still there. Bait's still there. Bait's still there. That, oh my gosh, come on, eat it. Dennis. There we go, that's on the big bait. Uh-huh. That was a good bite. Whatever's gonna bend over this 50 is gonna be a good fish. We haven't been here for 5 minutes, and it's insane the amount of life that's out here. It's truly incredible. Brick's already caught 3 fish. This rod doubled over. Every single time I've dropped this rod down, it's gotten a hit. So much life out here. What do we got? It's a grouper. It's a gag, huh? Looks like he coughed up a little snapper or something. So normally, I mean, I'm still stoked to catch this fish. On any normal day, I'd be stoked to catch this, but unfortunately, gag grouper are closed, just like the red snapper are. Plenty of fish down there. We can keep scamps, black grouper, red grouper, gag grouper, we cannot. So what we're gonna do is, Mitz is gonna vent them. We'll show you guys that. Can I lay them on the deck? Yep. So any bottom fish, super important to vent because something called barotrauma. Fish have air bladders. There's a lot more atmospheric pressure on the bottom of the ocean floor than there is up here. So when you bring a fish up fast, they can't compensate for that pressure difference. So you physically have to poke a hole in them, let that gas out, which doesn't do any harm to the fish, and then they'll be able to swim down freely. But super important, if you're gonna fish for bottom fish, you gotta do this. Is he good to go? Oh yeah, he's got plenty of life. So gorgeous gag grouper. We'll be back another day when this season opens up with Tanner. We're gonna let this guy go. Oh, see, if we didn't vent him, that probably wouldn't happen. If you can imagine, he's down there, he can come up top freely, but when you bring him up against their will, like we're doing, they they don't have time to equalize and for that equilibrium to occur. So we artificially do that, and he swims right back down.
Tanner, you're putting us to work real early.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of fish down there. I think we get a couple more rods on it, we really fire them up. But the fish, you know, these spots, they're real concentrated. These fish will swim in and out of this, especially the snapper. And once you start getting bait down there on one area, all the fish come right here. They get underneath the boat and they see all that action. These fish start coming up off the bottom. They start throwing stuff out. It just creates a feeding frenzy basically on the bottom. We just got here. We got 4 or 5 fish in the boat now. And Brooke's got one on the bottom. I believe it's a grouper. It's got rocked up on the bottom. So we're waiting that one out. Vic just sent down another big bait for a bigger fish. We're just trying to get past the smaller ones to see if we can get a big one off the rip before we put down the smaller rig so we don't lose them in the bottom. Like kind of how she got rocked up because the fish is just overpowering the rod.
Here we go.
So he's getting another bite right now actually.
Yep, we're on. Come on, get tight. It's instant out here. It's insane. And so everybody wants to catch them on a smaller setup. What we're trying to do is, Tanner knows there's big black grouper here, or big gags, and it's almost like you want to be responsible and give yourself your best shot and to not lose that fish too or lose them to the structure. So you try to get those bigger fish first on this bent bug gear before we switch over to the lighter tackle. What flavor is it? I think it's a red snapper.
You think so?
Yeah. Yep.
It is. It's a nice one.
Oh yeah. Big red snapper. The highly endangered red snapper.
Oh, he just took the hook off. There you go. Perfect release.
Perfect.
All right.
So that was a nice big red snapper, like the ones that Burke caught already. We've caught 3 red snappers so far. One on that back rod, just on a free line, and then one on the bottom. Let me switch it up real quick. Last time I fished with Tanner out here, actually, 8-inch, no live bait needed, straight tail, just working right off the bottom. We caught so many red grouper. It was the hot lure of the trip. Sometimes they want that reaction bite, and that's what this is. Throw just a big soft plastic down there. It's moving a lot faster than a normal bait. Sometimes it makes them go crazy. There is something. That's why I love throwing this thing down there. My guess, I don't know, I'm feeling more grouper than snapper right now. A lot of dead weight. But he's up off the bottom, which is the part you want. You don't want to let him sit down there too long. You want to get him up off the bottom with any bottom fish. Get him away from that structure as fast as possible. Is it red or is it brown? Oh, it's a scamp. It's a nice scamp. There we go. On the fake bait. Tanner, no live bait needed, huh?
No live bait needed, apparently.
I'm telling you guys, it
Beautiful
works.
Scamp.
Woo!
Beautiful scamp.
There's our first eating fish.
Nice scamp.
All right, so check that out. That doesn't lie. My really good friend Ben actually works for this company, No Live Bait Needed. They're based in South Florida. I had like 20 to bring on this boat, but I left the backpack full of them, so we're gonna have to make this lure last all day somehow. But don't get me wrong, I love fishing live bait and dead bait, but sometimes that reaction bite of that lure just bouncing up and down there produces a lot of quality fish. This is a scamp grouper, one of the best eating fish in the ocean. Almost no bloodline, absolutely gorgeous. Oh my gosh, dude, they are eating it. Oh! Come on. Another drop, just caught that scamp, straight back down. And Brick's on in the back. The grouper will fight really hard like the first 20-30 feet. Red snapper will kind of fight more the entire length of the fight. higher up in the water column, those grouper blow up a lot faster. Nice red snapper again. Lively spot, Tanner, lively spot. Yeah, Brooke's got a scamp.
All right, check that out. First fish for the dinner table, a beautiful scamp grouper. Every single time we fish with Tanner, it's always non-stop action all day long. And there it is. Beautiful fish for the dinner table, going in the box. That was Victor's. And there's mine.
On again.
What is it?
I don't know. Time will tell, Tanner. You gotta be a little patient, come on. We know you're used to catching fish like every 2 seconds, but. So this is the third drop with the jig.
With the jig too, man. These are really fired up down
I think it's another red snapper.
there. It's looking like.
Yep, another red snapper.
If you guys think the gym is boring, why don't you just book a trip with Tanner and this could be your workout?
It's the same concept. Everyone leaves this boat sore the next day. They text me, I feel like I just left the gym.
I mean, you're gonna leave sculpted. You're gonna lose like 10 pounds just from pulling on fish.
You're gonna build muscle too on your arms, the bicep muscle.
Tanner, I'm already tired and I haven't even got off the boat. How about that?
Say that again?
I said I already have a chiropractor appointment booked for tomorrow.
Because you knew you were gonna be pulling on fish, huh?
Oh my gosh, on the way down. On the way down. Maybe that's a blackfin. I don't know. I wasn't even jigging it. Just ate it as it was sinking. Yeah, I cast it out. Feels good. Feels real good. When you start bottom fishing, like you guys heard Tanner talk about getting the fish fired up, when one fish sees another fish being caught, I don't think it scares them. I think it just makes them more and more, oh, I'm in the structure already or something. It makes them more excited because fish see commotion and they go crazy. Shark. Shark, yeah.
Sure?
Yeah,
Are you sure you just didn't go for a long run?
I don't think so. I think it's a shark. I think he just let go of my fish. You don't get my fish.
Nice, beautiful Sam.
Gorgeous.
Woo, Brooke. A lot better than what I have up here, Brooke.
Heck yeah.
I got half a red snapper. One bite.
So these two were just teasing me catching fish. I had to sneak a bait down there. I had to. I don't get to fish a lot, but today I do. I'm thinking red snapper on this one, but you never know. Getting real light. Yeah, got it.
Oh, that one's cute.
Got a little red snapper here. Of course, I want the scamps, and they get that, and I get the red snapper. There's just nothing wrong with it, but we gotta let them go. That's the part of being out in this deeper water this time of year. We got these things everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Come on. Come on, Olga. Oh, man. Oh, man. She wants to be on bottom, I'll tell you that. I've been just trying different things. Sometimes I'm all the way on bottom. Sometimes I'm jigging it a little bit off. Oh no, this fish wants to go right towards the wreck. Now it feels heavy like a shark. Angry fish, whatever it is. Same thing, red snapper head. Even in the Gulf, we can't escape the sharks. Look at that. Not what you want to see. And I think our jig is toast too, Dennis. I had a good run. It caught 4 or 5 fish.
Get Tanner.
There he is.
That's a good one.
Come on, stay with me. Come on, seal. I have no clue what this could be. Hopefully we got a whole fish, not just a head. We got a nice mangrove that got eaten up. So either a big shark or a big Goliath got a hold of him. You can see where he's just all banged up. That would be still a nice fish. He just got tenderized a little bit.
Oh, I'm bit. I'm pretty sure. What? No way I'm stuck. Unless that's that Goliath.
That's just that fish down there.
That's the Goliath, huh?
Give it to him, yeah.
What?
Don't you know he's hooked.
Yeah, that's a Goliath. That is a Goliath. Oh. Then, okay, so I just dropped another big bait. This fish has no idea it's hooked. That mangrove snapper that you guys saw us catch, that was all scaled up, that wasn't a shark. It was some type of big grouper, and I'm pretty sure that's what this is, probably a Goliath. They're just so big and bulky, they don't really move that fast, but I'm pretty sure that's what we got on, and I think he's in some type of structure as well. Oh, he knows he's hooked now. We're rubbing on something, rubbing on some type of deadline. The predators are out and about today. We got dolphins all around the boat, some sharks, and this Goliath. Whoa, dude, this rod is bent. There's a lot of deadline down there, Tanner. I'm taking one for the team right now. Tell you what, Mitch ties some good knots. He's going back out to sea.
I think it's a shark.
No, a shark would have ran fast. I think it's a Goliath. Sing him a nice tune. So my little brother, Sam, Brick and I got him an electric guitar. And we got him an acoustic guitar last year, and he loves his guitar, so if he was on the boat, he could probably sing him a nice tune. He'd probably work the strings a little better than I could. Oh, he's out of the structure.
Give it to him, give it to him, give it to him, give it to him. Don't let him go back in there.
I had to give him a little bit more pressure. I finally got the Goliath out of whatever he was sitting in. Oh no, he's a giant Goliath.
Oh yeah. Woo! He's a good size one.
He's gonna need to be vented properly. So these are another grouper species you guys can find out here, but these you cannot keep. There is a season for them for the first time ever. I think in the last 2 years, Florida reintroduced them.
Yeah, so you enter a lottery. You got to buy a little lottery ticket, put in it, and if you win, obviously you get to choose if you want to collect a ticket to harvest one of these Goliath groupers. And I believe it's between it's either 20 or 24 inches to 36 inches. You can't keep the big ones, you can only keep the smaller ones.
I applied for a permit and I got one. So I'll have to come out here and harvest one, but obviously much smaller than this thing.
They're probably the dumbest out of all the grouper species, and especially because they get so big. When they're down there and a spear fisherman sees them, they don't move for you. They think that they're bigger than you. So they were super easy prey and targets for fishermen. Almost wiped out clean, but these guys will get to 700-800 pounds. But now the state found that there's enough of a population of them to start reintroducing a harvest of them. Unfortunately, you can't keep the big ones, which are the problem fish for the fishermen. These guys will be all around the wrecks, reefs, inlets, and they eat quite a few fish. So what we're gonna do now is get them close to the boat. You cannot legally bring them in the boat, and we're gonna go ahead and vent him, so give him his best chance of swimming down.
Well, unfortunately, I think my fish just got sharked, which means we're gonna pull anchor and move to a different spot because you don't want to just sit here and feed sharks all day.
So we're having little issues with some sharks, some predators, Goliath sharks, and we're gonna either get that fish in or break it off, and then we're gonna pull anchor up, run about 5 miles out of here, and go to a different spot and see if we can get away from the predators because they're just eating all our fish. So
it is what it is. You gotta pay your
isn't
taxes.
it? Yeah.
The problem is where there's a lot of fish, there's a lot of sharks, and there's a lot of stuff eating the fish. But if you're in an area with not a lot of sharks, usually there's not a lot of fish.
This is the first time I've been to the spot and I've had a problem with sharks.
It's because you brought land shark.
Yeah, that's why.
I'm the
It's in
problem.
the name.
Just blame it on me.
It is his problem.
If you guys have been watching the channel for a while now, you know that I rock Waterland sunglasses. Been a sponsor for about 3 years now, and I cannot say enough good things about them. Dennis rocks them, Brookie rocks them. I feel so bad I should have brought Tanner a pair, but if you guys are in the market for some sunglasses, they make men's, women's, prescription, children, and I can honestly say they're the best sunglasses I've ever worn. You guys can save 15% off using my code LANDSHARK. I'll have it linked below, or you guys can go to waterlandco.com. Start the new year off right with a fresh pair of shades. Your eyes will thank you. We've probably ran around to like 5 or 6 spots, made a few drops with some jigs and baits. But Tanner really, when he looks at his spots, some days they're ballooned up with fish, some days they're not. He's always looking for bait to see what kind of fish based on the marks. And he didn't really see anything he liked, but we just anchored up on another wreck, kind of on the way home, and just got our first few baits in, and we'll see what happens here. There it is, Dennis. Haven't really fished this rod much today. Brooke's been killing it on the pilchard rod. She's got more fish than everyone on the boat combined, probably. It feels good. It's still digging. Oh, man. Maybe another cuda. Tanner just pulled up a mangrove snapper and half of it was chomped like a barracuda ate it. It's frayed. When in doubt, put 2 pilchards on your hook. Oh, come on, eat it, eat it. Hoping for a big fish. What? Now that, I don't think we've shown you guys this on video yet. This is a lane snapper. Legal size, we could keep them, but we got plenty of big fish, so I'm not gonna keep them, but they are good to eat.
I think that was a winner.
Really? Good job. Might be the last fish of the day for Vic. This is our last spot, doubled up with Tanner.
I think I got a snag.
No, do you? Would you get a starfish?
I got a snag lane snapper.
And I got a big lane snapper. That's a dinner size lane snapper, huh? You know what? I'm not gonna let him go. He's going in the cooler.
Well, we caught our last fish. It's time to wrap it up and head in.
You fish with certain captains and they don't want to leave. And that's when you know you found a good captain. He just wants to put his clients on fish, and he wants to fish as much as anyone else. He's not one of those guys that's like, all right, we got enough fish in the box, let's go in. I mean, I don't know how it is when we're not here, but he just genuinely loves fishing, and so does Mitz. I had a great time, put plenty of fish in the boat, never caught all the scamps that we did, like we did today with Tanner. So you guys have seen, I think we filmed like 6 or 7 videos with him. If you guys want the trip of a lifetime, check him out. I'm gonna have all of Tanner's stuff linked below. African pompano, cobia, every single snapper species you can imagine, every single grouper species you can imagine. If you book a trip with him, you're gonna leave with a cooler full of fish. Great time. He's just such an enjoyable dude to fish with. Had a good time with my wife. She spanked my butt as usual. Caught all the big fish and most of them, so that's all there is to say. We'll see you guys back at home in Pompano to fillet up these fish. All right, we got the scamp grouper. It's the next morning. Once again, I just gotta show this fish off. They are one of the coolest looking grouper species. They have this really big broom-like tail. All these little finlets coming off of them. Dextreme 8-inch Max Flex knife. And as always, you guys can save 20% off all Dexter knives. Use my code LANDSHARK at dexteroutdoors.com, or I'll have it linked below. Basically just started from the head, working all the way up to the tail. Flip that knife around. Now we're going from the tail to the head. And I must say, Brooke absolutely put on a clinic for the boys. She seemed to avoid all the sharks and she seemed to get all the bites. But it's not luck, she's just that good. There have been many fishing trips where she outfishes the boys, and this was one of them. And you know, when Brooke and I filmed together, and for those of you guys who don't know, she has her own YouTube channel as well, my wife, Brooke Christ Outdoors. She usually includes just her catches in her video, and I put my catches in mine. So if you guys saw there wasn't as many catches in my video, that's because we don't put everything in, so that way the videos aren't redundant. But I'm telling you, we caught a lot of fish with Tanner. So we got one side off our scamp, but what an incredible fishery Tanner has over on his coast. Completely different situation than we have on our coast. We don't have to go out as far. We can fish right out front, but that also means a lot more fishing pressure, not as much bottom. There's just so much bottom out there. And to put into perspective, we were close to 80 miles out and only in 170 feet of water. 80 miles here, you're already in the Bahamas. You're crossing 2,000 feet of water as soon as you're 15, 20 miles out. So we just don't have as much good live bottom as they do on the West Coast. But the trade-off is they don't really have the pelagic tunas and the wahoo and dolphin fishery that we have. So everything in life is a trade-off. But for bottom fishing, you cannot beat the West Coast of Florida. This is actually my favorite knife for skinning any fish because, as the name suggests, it's got a ton of flex. So you can really contour to that fish's body. And just like that, you don't miss any meat on your final fillet. After the last video you guys saw with the golden tilefish, that was one of my favorite meals I've ever got to create for someone, for the family. So I got a lot to live up for, but I got some ideas brewing in my head. I'll see you guys in the kitchen. Welcome back to the kitchen. We got our scamp grouper out here on the sheet pan, already hit him with some salt. And tonight's recipe is going to be, I think, really, really good. Super flavorful, a lot of aromatics, a lot of flavors going on. But just for the fish itself, we're gonna do salt, some garlic powder as usual. For some reason, coriander is one spice that just like chalks up at the top and does not want to come out. Okay, and then pepper. In all my videos, I always use these peppercorns. You definitely get a more robust flavor when you crack your own fresh pepper. And there's all these little different kinds of peppercorns in there, all have a little bit of a unique flavor. Some are kind of smoky, earthy, but I think it makes a big difference. So to go with our fish, we're gonna make a really delicious like coconut style broth with a bunch of veggies that's gonna go in a bowl with some jasmine rice. But I'm also gonna take some of this, I'm gonna make it ahead of time. We're gonna high heat pan sear the fish, finish it off in the Camp Chef. So in here, just going in with some oil. We're gonna get some red onions going. Now I'm gonna go in with some sesame oil, as well as a bunch of freshly minced garlic and grated ginger. Just let that ginger and garlic get that flavor infused in the oil, cook it down a little bit, 30 to 45 seconds. Immediately wakes up your taste buds. Your nostrils just become alive.
I feel it.
Yeah. Onion, oil, ginger, garlic. Now some tomatoes. Just gonna let them cook down a little bit, 2 minutes, soften up. We're gonna go in with a little bit of lemongrass paste. Finding fresh lemongrass is not easy, so lemongrass paste will have to do about that much. We're also gonna add some turmeric. You know what, no one's got time for this slow flowing lid. Now we're gonna go in with some coconut milk. This is gonna give us our volume for that sauce. Another thing of coconut milk. Also gonna do some freshly squeezed, do some lime juice in here. And then the final thing for now is we're gonna go in with some sugar to give it some sweetness. And then a little bit of fish sauce. Really don't know how to describe it. On its own, it's kind of off-putting, but when balanced with things, it's really good. Had my jasmine rice toasting a little bit, gave it some flavor. Now we're gonna go in with the water. Don't judge me, but I'm cutting the basil with some scissors because I already cleaned the cutting board. I judge myself for using scissors. We're gonna have 2 back-to-back killer videos, Dennis, or killer meals. Okay, I want to give it a little bit of heat, not too much, because most of the people coming tonight don't like spice. Just a little bit of crushed red pepper. So I got a little bit of this juice, put it into this bowl. We're gonna finish our fish with this. So let's get this outside. So we got nice big saute pan. I'm gonna have to overcrowd it with the amount of fish I got, but it's all right. Going in with some avocado oil. And you guys see that is hot. And now I'm going with the fish. So the whole purpose of this, it's an additional step, but when I'm cooking a really big, thick piece of fish and I want to give it some color, I like to do this.
Mouth watering.
They were big ones.
Was one of them on an LBN?
It was the biggest one. Okay, so I told you guys that my buddy works for an LBN, one of my best friends. He just showed up from work from an LBN.
Just got here.
And the biggest fish.
Yeah, I'm wearing my uniform.
No, it's a really cool company, and they catch fish. You guys have seen us catch giant tuna on them. Every time we fish with Tanner, it's like the biggest grouper of the day always comes on the NLBN. And unfortunately, I left my backpack full of them in the car. But I had everything rigged and ready, all the 8-inch straight tails with 2 ounce and 3 ounce jig heads, left it in the truck.
Oh man.
So I just killed the heat, and let me show you guys what we're working with. See, I just want a little bit of color on there for these really thick pieces, and then we're gonna finish them off in the Camp Chef on the indirect heat. Just a nice little brown color is all it takes. Gives it so much more flavor. And they're very flaky, so you gotta be careful when flipping or they'll fall apart on you. And then as promised, we're just gonna start to kind of drizzle this all around our fish. We're gonna finish it off in the grill. Since it's a thicker piece of fish, I want it to cook evenly, so I want to give it that indirect heat. So I'm gonna take a little bit of the extra basil we have left over for some garnish, because basil loses its flavor as you cook it, so some fresh herb, and we're gonna do the same thing with some cilantro. So the final thing for our sauce, like I said, I want these to be nice and crisp, so the bell pepper and the snap peas are going in at the very end right now. So, say it's been about 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and check on our fish.
We legit measured one of my charter clients' kids from one of the...
Okay, so here's how we're gonna do this spread. So I'm gonna serve it in bowls because we have so much of this juice. We're gonna go in with that first. We're gonna do some rice. We got the star of the show. We got the scamp grouper, which I wish there was one more person here, and that is, well, I guess 2 more people. I wish that Tanner and Mitz were here to enjoy, but they live on the West Coast, so I don't think they would make that drive for this. And some cilantro. There's no cilantro haters in this house. Well, I'm not gonna squeeze it for everyone, but a little lime wedge if you guys want a little bit of kick. It's gonna go very nicely with the sauce if you put it on your fish.
Thank you, Chef.
Enjoy.
Namaste.
And guess what, Johnny? You don't have to eat freshwater fish from Lake Ida today.
I'm so excited, actually.
I'm so excited.
So Johnny's a captain. You guys have seen me film with him in the past, and Whenever we do catch and cooks, we've had some saltwater fish together, but it's usually crazy things like cloud knifefish, gar, what else, bowfin, stuff like that.
We've had our fair share of exotic fish on the table.
Well, I'm using my left hand because I'm
Injured?
a little bit disabled here on my right hand, but so far, delectable.
Going for seconds, huh?
Absolutely. If they don't, I will.
I also, I obviously don't eat a whole lot. It's really that good.
Or you're just really good at hiding it, Johnny. That might be it too.
I eat a little bit of food every once in a while.
Well, it's always fun to invite people over to our house and share our fresh fish with them. And Victor absolutely killed this recipe. Ben said thank you to Victor and me, and I was just as surprised as you guys with what we were eating tonight because I didn't even watch it happen, but all those flavors were so good. Victor rarely makes sauces like this, and I think you should do it more often because it was outrageous.
Outrageous.
Yeah.
Thanks. Outrageous. I really, really liked it. I love dishes where like everything comes together, where the sauce complements the fish and the rice and everything, and the veggies, the way they were incorporated. And I mean, hats off to the fish itself. Scamp grouper is just, it's so good in itself. It's got a really good flake, really good texture, and I'm happy to share it with our friends. We all know they're getting some bags of fish when they leave.
Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Brooke. That was awesome.
I couldn't help myself but to eat it like way too fast. I'm still sweating from my forehead and definitely burned my mouth, but it was 10 out of 10.
I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and if you want a trip like this, book a trip with Captain Tanner. I'm going to have all of his stuff linked below, and this is what you get, a nice table full of good meals. So thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Fried chicken.
I gotta eat. Boy, gotta eat.
Brought you some nice baked chicken. Now you're eating fried chicken, Tanner.
You gotta switch it up a little bit, right?
Yeah.